The terrible animated Addams Family series. You know it, you hate it, it looks bland, unfunny, and very blatantly unoriginal. But how bad could it possibly be? I mean, it sparked a franchise. Look, it's got a whole 2 installments. It had Finn Wolfhard for the first half. Today we'll be digging into both movies chronologically as we see just what makes this reboot so undeniably terrible. No ads, no filler, enjoy.
There's no ground when you fall from me.
Yep, this is an animated reboot, cramming in a modern song. There's no bell for when you call for me. But it's the morning routine for our mother, existing in the most extreme form of them yet. Ghostly thin legs drilling their boots and their makeup is their parents' ashes? Oh my god! As she walks through the streets to her wedding ceremony. Ah, Gomez and Morticia are being wed. What is the dress code in this place? There's a pilot outfit, a furry coat. Is this just because they're going to reuse the models at the end of the film? But then the civilians rise up against this Addams tradition.
Addams aren't wanted here!
And so our core family get out of there. There's references galore, but I don't get a lot of them, so I guess I'm just going through the kids' experience of meeting the family for the first time. Does the Hunchback have a history with a women's prison?
I think I can see my house from here. Oh no, that's a woman's prison.
Or why are they referencing that one song?
We put the lime in the coconut and drink them both up.
But whatever, with all these villagers always out to kill them, the Addams family choose to relocate to a new, safe place.
Somewhere horrible, somewhere corrupt, somewhere that no one in their right mind would be caught dead in!
Nicely done.
Your hand is as cold as a dead fish.
My love, that is a dead fish.
So it is.
What the fuck? What kind of joke is that? And then, as they travel in the night, they hit someone, an escapee of an insane asylum.
Thank you, old boy. Lead the way.
And thus, their Frankenstein monster butler is established. And they get their theme tune straight away on the organ. Though it's a little bit too heavy-handed on the fan service for my tastes. Almost crass in how much it's winking at the audience, you know? That's good, though. And so we jump ahead to present day with all the kids. The house still trying to get everyone out, but it's relieved with coffee. Huh, Lurch literally dusting the house and...
Sing.
They really just did that in a child's movie. What a relatable hand. I'm liking these character gags. But now the kids are to be woken up, and Wednesday desires something interesting for this tedious day, only to notice a bicycle bell out of the grounds that flees before confrontation. And as for Pugsley... so he's set up for sword practice with Dad, only to turn it into a rocket ship action sequence, featuring Matrix dodging, crash fake-outs, and more lame jokes.
They blow up so fast these days.
Before the bombardment of explosions finally backfires on the boy and he crashes back to reality. 15 minutes and there is still no plot. And I'm guessing that that whole action sequence is a hint to how there's probably not going to be any more excitement like that for a while. And prepare for that slowdown, because this scene is a stunner. Gomez here finally introduces the plot as Pugsley needs to practice his swordplay for an event that brings all the Addams together for the first time in 13 years. And it genuinely feels like a parent talking to his child in the garden. Because it's boring. Look at these shots. I know we just had an action sequence, but this is getting a little too real. There's no creativity in this theme, just gags you've seen before that they don't even animate here. It's off screen. And so it's dinner time. I was going to complain about how so far this movie is kind of just a hangout movie, only to realize that was kind of what the good Addams Family movies were. But once again here, it's all mostly normal again.
Putrid.
Horrifying.
Pugsley's throwing knives, there is a lion around briefly, and then Uncle Fester rocks up through the window before sitting down at the table. But it's still mostly just talking. For being in the animation medium, you'd think there'd be a lot more usage of that fact. But it's played so dry. And not in the good way.
There's nothing out there but boring marshland.
There must be something. We never go anywhere.
Wednesday wants to investigate outside the grounds, but is disallowed, and Festa comes early to help with sword fighting. That's the plot from this scene.
Socrates, come.
Oh wait, that thing's called Socrates as well? We literally just covered a character with that name in the last terrible episode. I'm sorry this camera's so up close. Moving on, we're now introduced to the real plot of the movie 20 minutes in, with Hag trying to sell real estate. It's always the real estate business in these cliche fests. But now on the scale of an entire neighborhood. What is that design? Is that meant to be a normal human? I get why Morticia looks like she could snap in half, but look at this guy's head! It's massive! Why have you got all characters looking so deformed when the Addams are supposed to be the odd ones out? And this lady looks like she's walked right out of an Illumination movie. That at least makes sense, actually, as it's turned out during the early phases of development, this was intended to be an Illumination project. In 2010, Illumination Entertainment acquired the rights and began work on, get this, a stop-motion animation. And who was penned for that? Well, none other than the Tim Burton himself. What? And then development stopped, and we got this instead. Bland 3D aesthetics that looked both too bright and too flat. But I'm too colorblind to break down why the shadings of this movie don't work or something. Anyway, remember that girl from outside the gates? She's her daughter, and tells the news that
I found a creepy mansion up on the hill.
Did Hag not scour the area before their plannings? And naturally, Parker here is shooed away. The movie's only an hour and 45 minutes, but boy does it need to pull out all the stops to pad out the runtime anyway, because there's no substance here. Here's the kids playing in the garden, Pugsley missing with his giant ballista and Wednesday burying him. Boredom is a serious crime. But hey, nice symbolism with that red balloon as a horror reference. Is that the point of it? There's also the occasional flair with Wednesday's dolly zoom, low angle lighting, pupil shrinking stare. But it's not much. Oh, the balloon is actually important.
There's usually a murderous clown attached to the other end of these.
Oh, not symbolic and subtle, direct. But it's an artifact of fun. As is the confetti that tastes like candy floss.
Candy.
How do you know what cotton candy tastes like?
Tish, it was my youth. I made mistakes.
Huh, it's weird. It's like a 50-50 coin flip of whether a joke lands or not to me. I hate one and like the other. Regardless, now the family noticed the neighboring town as they've drained the swamp and lifted the fog. And now Lurch is playing piano again for more of that Addams Family theme tune. Remember those classic piano notes, kids? Well, clearly not, but your parents will. Give us a good review on Rotten Tomatoes, because hooey, we love our nostalgic pandering. Who needs plot lines anyway? What is wrong with these takes? You don't even want to see the other ones. And it's literally just a transition scene. Miss Needle here is also now coming to discover the Addams after spending an embarrassing amount of time making a joke how she refuses to look out the window despite everyone's reactions. And so the family come in to view the new town. Am I stupid, or does Gomez look like completely normal? I guess his face is more forward than up, but like, how can this coffee shop be so disgusted by his appearance? He looks like one of them!
Everybody come together, sing our song, sing our song.
Jesus Christ! Look at their bindly little legs! I could pick my teeth with those limbs! There's only two body types in the human world. Snappable and rollable. It's literally just Pugsley and Wednesday again. This is abhorrent character design. At least it works with the Addams because they're supposed to look weird. But then I realized how lazy even these designs are, as off of the backs of that original Tim Burton pitch, MGM announced in 2013 that they would produce this film, basing it off the Addams Family comic, which, when you look at that source material, yeah, it's literally just these designs put into 3D. Talk about basic. At least Wednesday now has nooses in her hair. I like that. So the kids sing their cheesy song. We all recognize that one of the girls is that Parker girl from before. And then Uncle Fester sings as well, only to scare everyone away. You know these beats. But now Miss Needler's here to greet them. Okay. And she has a pitch to beautify their ugly home. Who knows how that's gonna go? And they accept, out of courtesy for accepting their new neighbors. even though they specifically wanted to run away from humankind to somewhere safe and unpestered. So is that your only role in this movie? Just soundtrack gags and heavily leaned references? Oh, brother. But now we're back at the house, we learn of the Addams sword display tradition. Pugsley gets a baby sword that squeaks on every swing.
Fester, hand him the Goo Goo Gaga baby training sword.
Which I guess is funny, but wouldn't they have covered this ages ago? Like last time he was supposed to be training? And the humans arrive. Of course Parker is a streamer, and while the adults are coerced indoors, Parker has the teenage experience. Because this movie knows this demographic's not gonna watch this crap, so it's not insulting the youth that are actually watching it, and it gets the parents giggling instead. Damn kids and their phones! But now should be the fun part. A crazy horror house attacking in its quirky ways. And we're off! Piranha plants, living polar bear rug, and Pugsley!
Pugsley's been climbing the walls in anticipation.
This is the kind of fun I would expect from animated Addams Family. Horror references and more slapstick impossible gags. I like that. Kinda wish Pugsley did it more, like a running gag that he travels everywhere via the walls like a weirdo. Just in the background or something. But anyway, as Margo here begins to eye up the house,
Let's take a look around, shall we?
you start to realize this house is actually really nice. Like, yeah, they dusted the place earlier and maybe the candles have gooped a bit too much, but this is still an immaculate aesthetic mansion. Maybe it's just because reality is a lot more tolerant than these cartoon caricatures of what is deemed evil, but it also just really doesn't work when you're looking at this unfolding. And then when we do get something genuinely ominous for this real estate business,
And here's our bottomless pit.
they give us a shockingly out-of-touch and dated joke with...
We call this surfing the web.
Is the target demographic for this movie people stuck in 2004 or something? It's a shame, because I really like some other gags they've shown off, but then they always shove a stale joke like this in there to really ruin the mood. It's impressive how formulaic it is to this love-hate relationship. With Parker outside, Wednesday is free to meet her now, creepily chatting as they peruse Ichabod the Tree. That's a nice dynamic location. But I can't find this crossbow joke funny. She keeps hitting the uncle, and he keeps disregarding it. Okay. Is the extra joke here that she clearly should be missing, but it still hits him? Also, Pugsley is getting flung around violently across this mansion just to always be lined up for punchlines to some gag, and it's weird. Separately, the jokes are fine, but putting them back to back like this makes this whole thing feel less earned? So what does Margo have to improve the house?
There's really not much to do to make this place perfect.
No kidding, her suggestions only reach this one room, which is to knock down 2 walls, the ceiling, and replace the floor. What about the other 50 rooms? Is the gag she's saying to delete the whole thing? Then mention more than just this room. Plus, logically, it's more of an exterior issue since it's an eyesore problem. I know the logic doesn't matter that bad, but how hard is it for her to try and pitch pinkifying the outside or something to irk the family? This plot already isn't going hard, but this tangent is truly the outcome of putting 0 effort in. But in 2 weeks is the family gathering and the business's big finale. Ooh.
Mit who?
Is this flamboyant running problematic? If you're going to caricature certain types of people, why not have everyone so slapstick and goofy? It rubs me the wrong way that one person is cartoonishly gay and the other one, oh, you know, just runs normally. Come on, give me some arms in the air over the top running too. Everyone be goofy. And as a final kicker to the end of the scene, Gomez interprets the 50 houses plan as an invitation for the whole family. And they're chased off with a gate that munches on food. Love it. Full conflict is in swing. We very briefly get a scene of Wednesday requesting to go to school. It's worth skipping. The only gag is that Wednesday is in a jump scare mood, but the delivery isn't even close to well done. And now here she is, immediately spotting Parker and her school bully.
I'm not locked up in here with you. You're locked up in here with me.
Oh no. She's cringe. And now Wednesday is in the mood for challenging the establishment. Here's Margo stirring up drama for the adults on social media, which is shockingly on brand for that demographic falling for fake news, but you can bet that that will go over their audience's head. Haha, funny, stupid teenager. And then we're back to Wednesday again. This time with a masterful scene where she in fact resurrects her frog in a dissection class. This is a classic gag in the making. And there's zombie frogs, Frankenstein reference. Mwah! Well, I see why the animation isn't generally that gung-ho. They spent all their efforts accurately hitting piano keys. What a waste. Anyway, it's time for another Addams appearance, this time with Grandma. She appears through the fireplace, and then we're back to the boring, elongated shot-reverse shot sequence. And finally, Wednesday comes home with a nice cliche twist, rebelling to be non-gothic for the thrill of how Mother responds. So she plans to do it some more with Parker. Gotta also love a modern gag that filters don't affect Wednesday. Was it written by 3 people, but only one of them was good or something? How do I love and hate elements of this film? Like, look at this. Morticia is now having a seance call with her dead parents, perfectly lining up for a gag we heard earlier.
The sconces were a gift from dead relatives.
If we get rid of them, they'll be terribly hurt the next time they visit.
Anyway, they calm her concerns for Wednesday. Oh yeah, there's the sword fighting plotline. The boy's not just the buttable punchlines. When was the last time we saw this plot? Oh, 21 minutes ago, in a 1 hour, 20-minute movie. And so, Pugsley obviously fails. Not in too grand a way, though. That'd be too interesting.
I failed him, Fester.
You have, Gomez. Why are you training him when there's only 1 day left? There was a 2-week time jump in the last 21 minutes. Ugh.
I like it like that.
All right, thank you, Grandma. We already have a band.
Congrats! You found the joke that perfectly split me down the middle. I hate the music choice, uninspired pop culture moment, but the premise is pretty alright. You know, when digging more into the production details of this movie, I came to find out this film had a measly budget of $24 million to animate the movie, but MGM chucked in $150 million for its global marketing campaign. 150! I remember vividly being hounded by Addams advertising everywhere. It was rife. Posters with cringy taglines, animated recipes and makeup tips, lottery tickets, food collabs with Kit Kat cereal, cereal bars, Hershey, IHOP, Icy. This is just ridiculous. And clearly, the main point. Addams Family is more than just a story, it is a brand, and gaining the rights leads into so much profit when used in every way possible. And apparently, across all expenses used, this project's gained a net profit of $72 million. Triple the animation budget, but half the marketing. So they're hired for the event. Wednesday rocks up in pink and Parker has gone all goth. Hilarity ensues.
Now go wipe that depressing goop off your face.
You first.
And that's enough to spark more attacks on the Addams family. It's more neighborhood peeps, so it's not really a progression at all, is it? Nothing has changed since the 15 minutes last time we were here. This dance routine doesn't really look all that difficult. Apart from step 4, they're literally always on 2 feet. Just a couple splits here and there. Nowhere in the book does it say use your feet. If you're gonna show it to us directly multiple times, you should probably put in at least a little more effort. And then Wednesday pops up saying she's leaving. And now Morticia is sad. If only you followed the advice of your parents and just trusted her. Instead, resetting every time we see you make the movie go longer. Ooh.
When the day is long.
Hey, finally Lurch has an okay joke. I mean, it's been done before, and I kind of wish it was the actual VA singing, but you gotta root for what you can with such an underdog movie. Besides, he's already the director and writer, so you can't ask for too much. So this is potentially the guy who makes or breaks this movie. Also directing Monsters vs. Alien and Sausage Party and Madagascar 3 and Shrek 2? It's the sad song for the sad characters, but I'll probably get copy striked for showing too much, so skip. Margo is on a call with her boss and has the bodacious claim that
I intend to bring the house down.
Reminder, so far she has done almost nothing, and her final task is still the same one from when she first discovered it. Oh, come on, I just skipped a mainstream song, now we're raving on another one? In case you're wondering why It's the Hairball is introduced with Snoop Dogg, it's because that's who voices him. Meanwhile, the teens discover Margo's hidden spy room, mostly because Parker can't stand not having a phone, because, you know, that's a personality you can write in depth. And with the spy room comes hidden cameras in all the new houses.
And there's our science teacher, Miss Gravely, putting her...
And then the mum catches them and jails them in the attic, literally kidnapping them.
I knew I should have picked to live with my dad.
She's a divorce kid. That's the joke. And down in town, the Addams family have all begun to arrive. With spider cars and hedge hair and all, time to initiate the big plan.
What we always do, Glenn, help people.
It's that damn neighborhood app again! And Parker is the one who can't put it down? What does this ever achieve? Oh, this time it's a plan of action to congruate. By the way, Hotel Transylvania 1 released 7 years before this, and it's suddenly feeling very much like a hotel experience. And now all the humans are starting their mob. March? But the torches are on their phones? This movie is weirdly phone-centric, but I don't think it's smart enough to be doing commentary on it. Also, the teens immediately escape their kidnapping. And now, in the final 15 minutes, it's all coming together. All the Addams are here, barely even given gags. They're just background characters as we see the two grannies argue, and then we initiate the mazurka event, starting with some ceremonious reading. That's not Finn Wolfhard. And that's just a stock sound effect.
And now the transition into manhood.
Oh, what the fuck? This took me 2 years to grow on my chin, and we're supposed to just roll with that anyway? Seriously? And now, it's finally time for the sword display dance, the saber mazurka. Ah, finally, a hint of theatrics. I guess all the animation has been saved up for the big finale, huh? And now, apparently, the whole dance was footsie tricks. That wasn't in the book. And the whole sequence is now an involvement with the entire family, each fighting or dancing or getting in Pugsley's way somehow. It's nice to see, but none of this was established, and I feel cheated. None of this was part of the training. And then it's over, and Pugsley gives up, saying he has let his father down.
I was so focused on doing things the traditional way. I forgot to let you be who you are.
Right, because that's how you write an ending to this arc. Cliché, out of nowhere, and logically against everything the Addams are standing for. Pugsley's character wasn't even being oppressed, unless you count disarming his explosives, which were still prevalent afterwards anyway. Just an oof all around. And then... the whole house is soon to come apart, and the Addams family need to protect their family again. Literally.
Go ahead. Show him what you're good at.
And then Pugsley goes on to commit 52 murders, perfectly committing to that traditional dance the moment he uses a bomb, because that doesn't shatter the entire idea that the traditional dance was meaningless. Oh, and in keeping this PG-13, Pugsley only attacks the boulders. These guys may be monsters, but they're not criminals. Okay, sometimes they're criminals, but only petty ones. Nice. Why couldn't we have gotten more of this? Oof. You know, up to this point, this has been a pretty flat movie. It looks flat, the voice acting is flat, and the writing is pretty flat in a lot of places. And it irks me that I enjoyed every other joke and despised the other half. But what's especially frustrating is imagining just what gold it could have been with the stop motion again and Tim Burton's touch. Though it still had Chris Meledandri and Illumination on board back then, so perhaps it was a horror story to begin with. It stopped development for a reason. In the end, this movie made $203.7 million at the box office and was more than profitable enough for a sequel. But Finn Wolfhard didn't return as Pugsley. Makes sense. He was probably the weakest anyway, but good for him. With scripts as lazy and outdated as this, I don't think anyone can pull off a grand performance. And as all the family is cornered and trapped, you think they're all gonna die, but of course not. They have a family holiday to go on in the sequel. And Wednesday is here.
Hope I'm not crashing the party.
Cliche. And everyone is pulled to safety. So as they all gently come to terms with their safety and the loss of the house, even the regular humans start to see them as people, as a family. That's a much less evil way of putting it. And of course, Margo is still full Nazi, and then, in standard expositing ways, Wednesday explains they all have hidden cameras installed in their homes and tells of the secrets everyone has that makes them all freaks. And so they finally turn on Margo.
Listen, you lemmings!
Man, now another connection with Norm of the North. Lemmings are being mentioned. What is going on with me lately?
I expect you to convince those brainless peons, you hear me?
Actually, Mom, everyone can hear you. You've been live this whole time.
Oh, and it's another cliche writing scheme. I should really make a terrible movie bingo card. Yep, you know how it goes. Exposed to the world means cancelled off the air. Surprisingly, a cliche that gets more relevant. And as a sorry from the town, everyone helps rebuild the house back up. Hilarity ensues. Not really. And the town is transformed as the Addams move into the 50 unsold houses, and Uncle Fester gets with Margo.
Her breath is like a baby's diaper.
I didn't think he said breath the first time. And with the newly refurbished Luigi's mansion and the spirit inside cursing it, because apparently that's how it works, they pose for a picture a la the original Addams Family, and they call it a day there. Oh no, not quite. They've got to faithfully recreate the original opening theme. A nice reference for nostalgic fans, but again, pretty heavy-handed. But I can appreciate the effort for detail.
Family, family, family.
Okay, piss off. We're done now. Wednesday is out and about at the science fair, where she of course can produce a Frankenstein's monster type thing, whilst everyone else does baking soda volcanoes. The magic of imaginative spooky stuff. Last time Wednesday reanimated a bunch of frogs, and this time her Uncle Fester ate a Rubik's Cube. Truly some riveting science and groundbreaking innovation. What the actual crux of the science experiment is the ability to briefly switch consciousness between entities. You know, trading the lack of intelligence from Uncle Fester for Socrates the Octopus's superior brain. Not the newest idea in the world, but guess it's logical to the character for Wednesday to be tired of her stupid relatives. And yet somehow this movie still seems to make the reveal about as anticlimactic as it can be. That was your big reveal that he's smart now? It's just so uncooked. And this was the thing throughout the entire first movie, mind you. It's inexplicably dull to watch. From the understandably grey colour palette to the uninspired mise-en-scène, it's just underpresented. Going through beats rather than showcasing that childish fun to us. But whatever, show's over now. And since this was all one big competition anyway, it's time for our winner to receive a reward for their contribution to the scientific arts.
The winner is everyone who participated!
Oh no. This is really gonna be for a certain demographic, this movie. This is the most boomer-agendaed point I can think of. This movie wants to take a stab at participation awards. No child has ever been offended by the concept before. Only now, in fiction, now that they've blown it out the water. This is a movie gunning for the lowest common denominator and thinking it has achieved something. So anyway, hologram judge over here hears Wednesday's concerns and offers to partner up to expand her work, and is voiced by Bill Hader. Gee, I wonder what contribution he'll be adding to the story. As the scene comes to an end in classic Addams Family the movie, but we're talking about the remake animated version movie style, with random chaos and some pop culture music to plaster over the gaps.
Welcome to the mouse.
But hey, at the very least, it's nice to see some vaguely creative ideas for expelling out some of these science experiments to their furthest point, and the parents being very on brand. And so after the movie rolls out a little intro sequence with that iconic tune, since this is practically the best thing this movie has going for it, already established IP, we come to see Wednesday moping in her bedroom about being unremarkable, more so with her latest trophy, to which she chooses to break Pugsley's neck. Alrighty then. That then goes into a ramble from Uncle Fester about love, because apparently that is the arc Pugsley is to go on from this entire movie, despite the lackluster establishment earlier. And then it's dinner time. It might feel like I'm skimming scenes, but it is legit going at a breakneck pace.
Come on down here, it's dinner time.
Now at this point, I get the feeling that the movie is starting to panic that it's not doing enough to keep retention time up, because after 2 15-second scenes in a row, we're now to follow Uncle Fester some more on a bizarre barrage of antics to take him to the dinner table. I think this movie is going to give me a headache. And so we're settled at the dinner table with the adults, and both children aren't making an appearance. Wednesday specifically skipping for getting too much love and attention, to which our dad Gomez here of course comes to the wrong conclusion for a solution. It's either giving out all the more love, attention and support, or it's the other option that comes to mind.
We are going on an Addams Family vacation.
That's it. That's the plot. Going out to new environments for antics to ensue. Gone is the territory for callbacks like all the blades thrust into Gomez's chair. I can appreciate that. And so the very next scene, we're introduced to the Addams family car. This scene's not that interesting. The men push the children together in one hint of choreography, and there's like one joke.
It's a hybrid. Half car, half eyesore.
But following that, we have yet another new character popping up, a lawyer, claiming that there's a chance some babies were switched up and that Wednesday is not theirs. The parents fob it off to Wednesday pulling strings to get out of the vacation, and they shoo him away with a tip.
He left me these tips in his will. I knew come in handy. I can't believe he gave me the finger.
Wednesday then has the awareness to notice some guys popped up, but doesn't go on to pursue him for answers because that would be far too intelligent for the canonically intelligent character. And so with Grandmama holding the fort at home, off they roll. And we have to, of course, milk that old classic theme, of course. How else are we supposed to patch up the void of our creative capacity, huh? They vaguely lay out where they're going, with, as usual, very little interesting camera work, and also they're being followed. Lawyer Boy now coming with a Lurch clone. And now we're at our first destination, Niagara Falls. This is going to be the kind of movie that relies on real-world landmarks to plaster their environment, since creating original and spooky ideas takes effort. Why not just stick to real-life parallels to make things easier, you know? They were gonna go to Salem, but Uncle Fester rerouted last minute since Socrates is still in his head sometimes. But only when the plot requests it, for 3 seconds at a time.
The great wonder of the world and kills the most tourists.
Though I must admit, Uncle Fester has all the best lines in the movie. I'm not even sure if anyone else is even cracking jokes. Fester has an octo arm, Wednesday is in the same mood as ever, and Pugsley is eyeing up girls.
I should totes take a selfie at this moment.
Yeah, lowest common denominator for sure. This is just the teenager again from the last movie.
I just skinned my knee. Falling for you.
Yeah, I see why Finn Wolfhard left. And so following that comes that one moment in the trailer that got milked to death in the marketing, I feel. Wednesday's brought her voodoo doll of Pugsley. What does this have to do with Niagara Falls? Like, couldn't all these beats happen practically anywhere? I know we're now getting a semblance of water content, but like, they're just up on a pathway next to a waterfall. Just on that prompt alone, there's really not much to jump off with, apart from jumping off. Most of this next sequence is just Pugsley floating midair because there's not much else to do.
Right in the Niagara Falls.
Oh, okay, never mind. That makes the whole location worth it. So after buying 300 pickles, Gomez then goes off to kill his family right here by chucking them into open barrels and kicking them off the edge. Not actually in the waterfall, just off the cliff. Logic in every direction be damned. And the lawyer guy pops up, is immediately spotted, and then chucked into the falls, and then never reiterated further. Instead, our focus is prioritized towards...
Ah, there he is.
This movie is so stupid, man. So Wednesday thinks Gomez is dying since he's erratic, Morticia doesn't correct her, the lawyer man is just gone, and the movie continues for another hour for some reason. And Wednesday never brings up the dead thing again, actually, now that I'm here afterwards. And it's a shame, because the water simulation looks amazing. Talented people were involved in this movie and just wasted 2 years of their lives on some higher-ups drivel. And now with quality like this, I'm starting to miss Finn Wolfhard. Grandmama's partying with teenagers, Skip, and Gomez is telling fireplace horror stories, Skip.
Wednesday, you were the opposite. I've never heard of a baby being completely silent before.
Well, I imagine dead ones were pretty silent. And speaking of babies, Uncle Fester goes on to ramble about the time he juggled a bunch of babies on Wednesday's birthday to help calm them all to sleep, confirming the chance that Wednesday was swapped out at birth. Though they also clearly show that she's different looking and in the correct family crib, as if to spoil the twist later that she is in fact theirs anyway.
She might not be our daughter.
Yeah, she is. And so our next scene takes place. Oh, brother, it's more of the same night. Now Wednesday needs to brood out and about. She already did that. Can we just move on? We're not even at location 2 on this vacation trip, and we're 1/3 done already. Skip. So we've made it to location 2, beach.
It's just beach.
And as Wednesday reads about how to give head, we're given a montage of antics. Morticia sun cream, sandy guillotine, sharp fester, and then it comes and joins.
Ladies, what a lady say. Ladies, what a lady say.
This whole scene was one big mainstream song, and then they mashed another on top of it and called it content. But hey, at least they referenced the Jaws dolly zoom and basically the original Addams concept art, beach and all. So after Pugsley sleepwalks and it is consumed by the lion for a while, he has a heart-to-heart with Wednesday. And honestly, I spent more time just listening to his dialogue forwards and backwards since I watched this through my editing software, and it's just more interesting.
I got a sixth sense. The hair stood up on the back of my head.
Turns out, it is fully communicating with Wednesday's words. Here, let me give you some more extracts.
I shaved my whole body as a teenager. It was a Brazilian times of trailers.
You shaved your entire body. Did it ever bother you that you were so different?
It used to. Name as a teenager was because I was hairy, elegant, the one.
You owned who you were.
What it is, good. All good.
Imagine being a schmuck who can only understand one half of the dialogue in this scene. How unimpactful and annoying that must be. So continuing on the plot, our lawyer boy is back, on a moped for some reason. I don't remember them losing their car beforehand, he just fell into water, but now there's motions to be had. Vaguely, being vertical and making one bridge. Truly groundbreaking stuff. To which the parents distract the kids to the table and solve their issue with...
How about punch buggy?
That's it. Nothing to do with the kids. If anything, bringing them closer to the window than they already were, and putting it to lurch instantly. Lawyer Boy is now defeated in a random pile of poo on the side of the road. You know, that classic Texan landmark. Wednesday still spotting it and doing nothing. Location 3 is the Alamo Tell, which actually boils down into a children's beauty pageant, which is a choice. Everyone just goes along with it, I guess. Wednesday is forced to take part, but she makes the most of it with a genuine highlight here, as her talent is that she can read minds.
Hello, Peggy.
Alright, I'm not fully sold on the low voice at the end, but it's nice to see something genuinely well presented. Wednesday is a cool character in concept. So the beauty pageant is in fact a choreographed dance with no practice attached, and Wednesday looks awful. And the whole bit is that she wants to leave, but she can't from all of the motion that they're doing, and like, it's so badly done in every way. The singing, the choreo, just the idea and the voice delivery too.
Kiss when I'm dancing in the show tonight.
This show is so poor, I almost feel bad for the pedophiles that are probably in this room. So much so that Lawyer Boy walking in doesn't recognize her, she dumps the other girls in paint, Lawyer Boy does spot her, and then Gomez dogpiles Lawyer Boy by claiming he's a talent agent so everyone goes wild. It's a story beat, I guess. But just really, really poorly put together. You know, it's the running theme for the Addams Family animated franchise. And then Lurch is beckoned to get them out of there, after legit 8 seconds of him saying, "What?" because the runtime's looking a little thin, I guess. Leading to the most obvious parallel you would expect to make with this roster. I'm sure they'll make out later. Next scene, Wednesday actually questions Gomez about the lawyer man, and he doesn't give a truthful answer. So she moves on, knowing he's lying, but doing nothing to pursue it. Yeah, this movie is just outright wasting our time now. Location 4, if you count the gas station, is the Grand Canyon. Just another cliff to stand next to. America has all the best landmarks. And though they chuck in some random gags about it partying all night or something, the first beat of this place takes place in a public bathroom, as Fester's body changes are finally being addressed. This was honestly the best 6 seconds of the whole transformation. The rest is pretty underwhelming, as it's just arm pulling and a single eye poke, all being off screen on the floor. So we're finally here, the Grand Canyon. Great to the Addams for being one big void. And then immediately it's interrupted by a private jet. Nothing to do with the canyon, and actually, it's for it. Now he's leaving. Arrive to say hi, give Snoop Dogg a paycheck, give out heart-to-hearts, and then leave. Words of wisdom and more wastes of time.
Why didn't I get dating advice from him?
The ladies love it because I don't give up.
And on that bombshell, off he pops. Time for random emotional beats as Morticia gives Wednesday a family heirloom necklace that was not mentioned at any point before, and also I don't think fully makes sense based on what she says. So her direct quote is, "This has been handed down through generations of Addams women." But like, she's not an Addams woman. I mean, sure, she is now, but in the classic rendition, she was born a frump. Obviously, right? Grandmama Addams is Gomez's mum. He's the Addams tree, so Morticia's mother wouldn't be an Addams at all. And also, apparently Morticia's mother gave her this heirloom on her wedding day. We saw her wedding day, by the way. This is just not true. But I guess here, the special occasion to bring it down is... Wow, look at Cliff! Wednesday's slightly perturbed, so here, cheer up. If this movie didn't have every other trait that this movie has, I'd think there'd be a writing explanation for this whole. But you just know there is not. Hey, sorry, are you getting bored in this movie? I have just the fix for you. Yep, when in doubt, just blow up everything with the most cliche classical music on top. That'll make the kids pay attention. And that's the end of our scene. Blow it up just to run out of here. But very suddenly, we're with Wednesday inexplicably on the side of the canyon, away from the family, in the sunset, and Lawyer Boy just popped up. And for the next few minutes, we're gonna get our full-on conversation of explanations, also known as exposition dumping. Now sure, maybe sharing all this information is a good prompt for dumping, except almost none of it is actually shown. There's one shot of a reminiscent point of view shot from a scene earlier in the movie, but the rest is just talking. Not to Lawyer Boy, but to Bill Hader, the science guy. Rambling about how he thinks she is his long-lost daughter since they were born in the same hospital. Plus, she's good at science and they have big heads. That's all. No throwback to that day at the hospital, no visuals on the failed child they had instead. Just talking under a tree. On the phone, with none of the creative flair you would expect from this naturally creative industry. This has always been a franchise to tick boxes and mute art. Until the very end of the scene where...
What did you do with Mr. Mistella?
I let him go.
And so after a scene with only dialogue, naturally, it's time for a scene with only montage music, of course. And thankfully this time, it's not just a random jukebox piece, it's more of that genuine Addams Family soundtrack score, which I must admit, is pretty good whenever it actually comes out. The consistent use of the more spooky instruments all come out quite nicely, because again, the individuals that made this movie are pretty damn talented. Just misused. Anyway, in the night, Wednesday is making her own DNA test on her father. He apparently sleeps in his identical clothes and without Morticia, and she confirms that she's not, in fact, an Addams. How are they gonna write their way out of this one? And so, next morning, she has all but run away. Your typical stuff. And I guess now that the story's not trying, the visuals faintly are. As we get to see that Wednesday sleeps in a morgue bed. Nice. And wow, we actually get a flashback of her leaving? That's vague effort. Then the family lament, and as for the jokes...
Waddy-daw! Don't forget to clean behind your knuckle.
Even Uncle Fester has lost his chaotic spark. And so Wednesday is off gallivanting to find her real family on foot, out in the wilderness. Only for a mild twist to follow us, as Lurch has chosen to follow her. And yet again, we have a heart-to-heart with a character the audience cannot understand.
I guess that's true. You're not an Addams either.
I feel like this was a conscious choice for the audience to fill in the gaps of good, heartfelt dialogue writing. Is that a conspiracy? And so, with Lurch accepted to join along the way, the two of them continue. Where to?
To Sausalito!
Thing to Sausalito!
How do they know? It wasn't in the letter, come on! How do terrible movies have cliche traits that are only followed by other terrible movies? Death Valley, it's location 5-ish. Again, not really a landmark, it's just another void. The open desert air, where nothing specific can happen, just normal scenes in a vaguely different background. But I guess it's an opportunity to see a type of person, biker dudes. And though we do briefly get some genuinely nice sky sunset lighting, we'll be next diving right into a bar for our next beat. Every landmark seems to have a normal interior set to go to. And so, Wednesday and Lurch barge into this bar, only to be immediately antagonized by the whole saloon gang. It's a standoff of tension, until Wednesday commands Lurch forwards to show just what his cold, dead hands can do.
First I was afraid.
I mean, I guess it is subversive. The power of song then forces everyone to move to the beat of the rhythm. Looking like one of those cringy Illumination dance sequences, it's one big disco. This movie came out in 2021, so it's not even like it's outdated. And of course, ruining all of Wednesday's initial plans for a big bra brawl up. But the conclusion still comes out the same the moment she mentions Sausalito.
Sausalito? That's exactly where we're headed.
And thus, they join along the ride. I Will Survive still playing in the background, so I can't show you any more until she finally reaches her destination. A random house that I guess she already knew the exact location of. And so as her and Lurch slowly make their way into the building, we come to learn of the other family members attached to Cyrus Strange.
Wednesday, meet my wife, our little oaf.
The other me.
Oh no. This movie is going to be a whole new level of black-hearted, isn't it? I mean, it already has the theme of a father who doesn't appreciate their child and thinks they're someone else, but even in their presentation, they're like bird and pig mutants. If it doesn't turn out that they are literal science experiments, then this is just going to be some ugly-looking caricatures to make fun of less able demographics. You know what I mean? These characters being designed like this makes me feel an ick. So anyway, Wednesday is introduced to Strange's big ol' lair, expositing some more about the similarities the two have while doing a DNA test.
About how your formula was a family secret?
And of course this being the crux of it all. And so the DNA tests come back as a match, how perfect, just as the Addams family make an appearance outside. Again, how do they know? Did Wednesday leave a postcode to this guy's place in the letter? No.
It's my the Addams family.
And so they rock up, fully confronting everyone in the front yard as Wednesday now dons a lab coat and turtleneck, showcasing the evidence that she in fact is not an Addams. And before long, we're back to laughing at non-typical children again.
We went through the same thing with Ophelia.
Wasn't it kind of a progressive theme for the Addams family to showcase a less than normal character dynamic in a way that wasn't pejorative and spiteful? Isn't the message of the Addams Family IP to not judge a book by its cover and understand that even odd characters can be endearing and they're all real people? How do you misinterpret the original text to the point we're practically pointing and laughing at a character that's a little ugly and weird? Well, the movie tries to turn it around as Pugly falls head over heels for them anyway. I still think it's pretty black-hearted. So as Wednesday is about to say goodbye to the Addams family, she comes to a pause and instead suggests they stay the night to say goodbye tomorrow instead. Padding.
I'm not quite ready to part with them. Forgive me, Father.
And thus begins our sad montage. Honestly, the only part that vaguely depresses me is seeing Lurch was taken with Wednesday. I really don't have the emotional connection to care about anyone else. Maybe pity for the poorly presented wife character? Yeah, okay. Movie can't even commit to the emotional beat. There is a slight gag here I like, that the two have so many memories together in the 6 hours they've united, but also, I don't feel like 6 hours passed at all, and none of it really ties together, but also during this montage, Pugsley is hanging out with Ophelia, eating face first and all that, until... Oh, so she is a literal pig, and he still can't act. Does that excuse the weird choice in including characters like this? I don't know, but I still have the ick.
That's just it. I don't think they are people.
Oof. But it's a conspiracy for the Addams to unravel and breach Cyrus's lies. Oh, no, he's here. Immediately to address the full plot. Okay.
Her experiment did what you couldn't.
And then they also confirmed that he faked that DNA test. But, like, weren't there two? Sure, I can see how Cyrus manipulated it when it was his own machine, but Wednesday did one out in the middle of the wilderness with her own resources and almost every type of hair on Gomez's body. Thank goodness she didn't go searching for any more hair on his body here, huh? Could you imagine? I don't want to. Strange didn't contribute to that one. Is this going to be addressed? So now Strange has a super lair and Wednesday has fully perfected the formula for him. Now he's much more giddy, spouting secrets, and the moment Wednesday sorts everything out for him, despite occasionally mumbling out suspicions of her own,
they can be our first test subjects.
Just immediately going for a short-term success thing rather than gaslighting her for a much longer period to gain all sorts of unknown scientific benefits in the future. You know, basic, boring villain stuff, really. So the two go on a right long argument. Turns out Strange does want to keep Wednesday around, just making the Addams her pets first to eradicate the less desirable traits, all the while selling this new tech to governments to get stupid rich off the science. That kind of thing is the logic to this villain.
Fine as they are. Except for maybe Pugs.
The argument continues as Strange starts up the machine. Naturally, it takes 3 working days to get going as Wednesday stands her ground and makes her threats, bringing good old Lurch back to the fray. Actually a threat this time since there's no piano in the vicinity. To which Strange retorts with,
You think you're the only one with a brainless Neanderthal bodyguard?
I don't like the use of Neanderthal in that sentence. But sure, it's the clash we've been waiting for. Build up in just character design alone and that one look to each other at the baby beauty pageant. It's the finale fight sequence, I guess.
Oh, this is gonna be rich!
Oh. They really were gonna make out. Well, this is a $23 million budget, so I guess there's not the funds for it, really. So, get this. It was all planned, not from Wednesday. Turns out the two had a heap of conversation and a whole load of history too. I don't know if this was meant to be telepathic or just an off-screen thing that Lurch explained later or what, but it's a whole thing the writers have pulled entirely out of their asses.
Pongo told Lurch that he suspected I was in danger. Pongo and Lurch are former cellmates at the asylum.
This is just made up. Also, where is Lawyer Boy now? Is he dead? Yeah, I guess he is dead. Oh my god, they just actually killed him. Wednesday has a body count. But back to Pango, a way to write themselves out of a fight and instead turn it into a ball game. As Cyrus is played around by the two brutes and inexplicably breaks free the Addams family. And just as the family are reunited and happy, of course, bad guy villain gets a taste of his own medicine with the super brute formula that makes him an animalistic amalgamation. Cursing the name of Wednesday, expositing that the DNA test was false, I still don't see how, praising their new cursed form, and vowing to kill the entire family. If only there was a character who's inexplicably not here and established to be a transformed animal monster too.
Get ready to cry, Uncle!
Well, hey, maybe on a $23 million budget, maybe now I can accept skipping that earlier fight if the real final showdown is here. And so they brawl. They slash and they slap. It's mostly just slaps and slashes. The animal family get involved too in places. The choreograph's pretty simplistic, but hey, I guess it gets the job done as Strange is dragged underwater.
Get him, Fester! Eat him! Eat him!
Before finalizing out of a flooding of the lab, everyone running and the monsters being hurled into the sea. It's a victory for Fester. That's what victory sounds like. And now Fester is dying, and there's only one thing that can fix it. The final MacGuffin left for the film to establish, that randomly placed heirloom, the Addams but maybe not Addams necklace.
From every Addams born into the family, your father, Pugsley, you...
But it was handed down by your mother? No? This is all stupid anyway, and very not consensual to take your baby's blood for storage, since Wednesday clearly doesn't know about this. But it'll have Fester's DNA in it too, so it's, of course, the instant cure needed, as Fester slowly shrinks away back to his original form, and somehow doesn't also become the others, because it's the DNA mixed together. As does Ophelia. Wait, what? I thought she was a pig first. She came from a farm, no? Strange said they always revert back to their original form, so she became a pig again, right? If they revert to original form anyway, wouldn't she have remained more human in this game? None of this stupid movie makes sense. Pugsley's girlfriend will disappear if they make a third movie anyway. It happened to Fester after the last one, after all. I just spilt my drink. And thus, the Addams say their love yous, everyone's happy, they're as a united family again, happy ending, yada yada, except for that one other bit back at the house. Which of course comes to zero anger from the parents and acts as our end of movie dance sequence with Snoop Dogg It back, who knows where he went for a secret gig, like your typical Illumination or old school DreamWorks movie. They've seen that the formula works and boy are they gonna bring it back. Hotel Transylvania style. What's more, there's actually a real lot of serious flashing imagery. I don't just mean like the colored lights you're seeing on screen. I mean full on 3 frames of just blank white and 1 frame shot switching back and forth. Literally a couple of Halloweens ago, I remember needing to edit a horror movie to slow down any epileptic imagery because they may be in my audience, and the chance of epileptically sensitive people coming to see Addams Family 2 isn't zero. Seems kind of irresponsible to put in this level of strobe lighting since there is no warning, and what I've trimmed out here is more than fine enough on its own. Oh, but hey, they do actually call out that original DNA test issue from before. Glad someone noticed, eventually.
Lost my beautiful, beautiful hair.
Hair transplant. I guess it'll do. Maybe she should have checked more hair here after all. And from there, in our credits, on top of being the classic theme as is standard, they next go on a vacation across the globe. Thankfully, there's no third movie to confirm it as proof. Yeah, I'll spare you from all that. Addams Family 2 is just like Addams Family 1. Textbook. Beats happen, nothing too crazy or new, with a lot of dull incorporated in. Missed potential, boring camera. So like, I edit these movies by cutting at every shot, and typically YouTube doesn't like me playing more than 6 seconds at a time, and that's pretty easy when you cut at every cut in a movie, right? Not this one. So many shots are slow. I'm talking 8 to 12 seconds regularly. Not even talking about the particularly long takes or slow droning shots. This movie is like the boring cousin to Hotel Transylvania with all the same flaws as Hotel Transylvania. It's just not good. But hey,
no matter how terrible, nice to have a memory we could look back upon.
Maybe they knew all along. And it seems MGN finally recognized that since they haven't made a third 2 years later again. What a relief. So for now, my name's been Daz. You didn't really care, and I'll see you in a bit. That covers us quite nice. I have one dandruff piece that has been here the entire time. Are you kidding me? Great.